Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Lego. In this episode, the trio talk about the tragic and sad situation that Lego City is currently in. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Lego. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Minifigcentral.
Nice to be here.
And BrickBucas.
Hello, it's Lucas here.
And today we're going to be talking about the current state of Lego City, which is a tragic tale brought to you by Lucas.
So, I think the main reason for the downfall is probably the show. Because I've noticed when looking at Lego City sets that around the time when the show came out was the time that the Lego sets started getting worse. Like, buildings started to feel a bit more incomplete, and there was just a spike in the amount of lightning yellow in the Lego sets.
I personally feel that the show has actually been a good marketing tool for the theme. I think it's good to have the show where there's characters and then the kids connect with the Lego City sets and having them characters in those sets so they can buy them, which probably increases their sales.
So for me, looking at the ratings of the show, it's not doing really that well. And I do have to agree with Lucas. Since they got the show out, the buildings have been more flat. There hasn't been a lot of depth to them. And I feel like using characters takes away from the whole almost like reality sort of feel that Lego City once had, where you didn't have to have characters. You could make your own characters out of the figures in the sets.
Basically, the show took away from the point of building your own city and made it into build the scenes from Lego City Adventures.
It made it a sort of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it didn't need to be that. It needed to be a touch of reality in Lego.
I also feel like the inclusion of lightning yellow and all the sets now, with the police officers having it, the firefighters having it, like the ambulance having it.
I just wanted to ask you guys a question. I'm not big into Lego City, but do you think the bad builds is just Lego's laziness, or is it the show that's causing this to happen?
I feel like it isn't the show because, they've had really great sets back in the day. Like, you could go out there and there would be, like, at least one good building set to get that wasn't just another vehicle.
I also feel like they correlate at the exact same time, so it's hard to determine which is actually the problem. Because the show and Lego's laziness seems to be start at the exact same time. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell.
I think it's kind of becoming one of those themes where they know it's mainly kid-dominated, so they kind of put a little bit less effort into it, and I think they're thinking they can get away with that, even though there's a lot of hardcore Lego City fans that are older that like to build their own Lego City, and it's kind of just hurting them.
There still are, good sets out there. Like, there's this new crane vehicle that they came out with. It's like a blue one. I don't know what it was called, but it looked really good, and I think it would be, a nice build to have.
Notice it didn't have any named characters either.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best parts about it.
So what I'm hearing is they have sets without the named characters currently.
Yeah.
Are they new that they're coming out with? So it's almost like they're doing kind of two different approaches to Lego City. They're doing the named character sets and they're doing ones without. So
on that, I think it would be an even greater idea for Lego to create their own line of Lego City Adventure sets and Lego City sets side by side. So you can get the fans who like the show buy the show sets, and the people that like the city by the city sets.
I think the Lego City would, it's as its own theme apart from Lego City Adventures itself, would do really well, because there's a lot of people still trying to build their Lego cities out there that are probably just getting creator sets and creator expert sets rather than the actual city sets themselves.
So, following this topic, it seems like Lego has had a lightning yellow invasion in their Lego City sets, and it's pretty much invaded every single department in the Lego City.
Yeah, now police officers have lightning yellow, firefighters have lightning yellow, even the hospitals and the ambulances have lightning yellow. And I feel like it's just one of those colors that, you could just give to the firefighters because they already had yellow in their color scheme. You didn't have to give it to every single department, and I think I would have rather just had them stick with the original colors.
I do find it kind of dumb that they would try to blur the colors and have a consistent color across the different departments, because they should have their own separate colors and you can just go off the real life colors. It doesn't have to be this unique thing.
I think we see it in real life too sometimes with lightning yellow. I've seen a lot more vehicles with lightning yellow now. And maybe it's just that whole thing where if you think about it and you realize it, then you see it more often, like with cars and stuff. But I don't know. I think lightning yellow is going to be a little bit more of a lazy color for Lego. I don't think that's a good idea.
So actually going on to another topic, I actually talked about this in the other one. Obviously across Lego right now, you can definitely see that the prices are obviously increasing. Like there was a big price increase for a fourth of their entire selection. But one thing that seems to make a lot of Lego City sets very expensive is the new inclusion of the road plates. And these, in some sets there's 1 to 2 road plates in there, and it often makes it go up by $28 each, for each set and everything. And the thing about that is you can get a whole pack of a bunch of them for $20, and so I feel like 2 of them for $20, or at least an increase of $20, doesn't make much sense money wise, because I feel like they should at least be $5 per road plate.
The road plates should be a separate thing. You should be able to buy them on your own if you want to get them. They shouldn't have to be forced down your throat in a set. They should be something that's optional, especially with people not liking them necessarily. I know there's the whole how wide they are problem, and I think they should keep it. If you want to buy the road plates, you'll buy them, but if you don't, you make your custom, or just not have any road plates. Focus your pieces into the actual build.
And that also would definitely decrease the price of each set, rather than having them super expensive and overpriced. They can be a good price.
I know, for example, I'm looking at the Town City Center set, and this set basically has 3 road plates, and it's essentially just 2 tiny buildings, and it's $100. When realistically, you take those road plates out, this is max a $50 set. Let's say they take out those road plates, focus all their pieces on the build. This would be a much better set. You would have a lot more detail, and I think that would lead to a lot more sales.
It definitely correlates a lot with the show and Lego City's current state. And I think if they go down this road for too long, they definitely will get more lazy. And the whole thing about newer, bigger pieces with me is just, it feels too much like we're diving into Mega Bloks side of pieces. Once they get bigger, how big are they going to get? Are they just going to keep getting bigger, and eventually there's going to be whole molds for buildings? I think that's a bit of a far-fetched future, but if this is how Lego keeps going with this, it definitely doesn't look good for the future sets.
I find this very weird with Lego City having all these big pieces, because in all these other themes we're seeing a lot more sets use smaller pieces. So it's kind of a unique situation the way Lego City is being handled.
Final verdict on this state of Lego City, I think eventually in the future we might not see Lego City anymore. I think they're running out of things to make, and if they go the way that they're going right now with the show and with the colors and with the molds for some pieces, I think they're just gonna let it go completely. And I think with how much licensing they have to do with Marvel and Star Wars, I think we're going to lose that touch of Lego that started the whole thing.
I can understand what you're saying. You can see a lot of repetition over the sets, a lot of police stations, a lot of hospitals, a lot of fire stations, a lot of all of those different things. There's so far 2 fire brigade sets now because they remade it, and it's just one of those things. But I feel that they can't get rid of the theme because it's been something that's been going on since the beginning, Lego Town style stuff.
I don't ever see them getting rid of this theme. I think it's one of the staples of Lego, but I do want to say I feel like they have been doing some innovations. You see the stunts theme, that is technically Lego City. That is something we haven't seen before. And I've noticed they've been making a lot more trains, and I think that's a very good thing. I know Bucas is a big fan of the trains. Bucas, do you like these new trains?
I like the new trains and all, but I think it's just because every year not every year, but every few years they do at least 2 train sets. I like how they have made 3 train sets so far, but I feel like the trains right now aren't what people want. Like, if you look into the the Lego train community, they want, like, I mean, mainly we want steam trains and stuff like that. Like, the new Hogwarts Express is really good because it brings new big wheels. And so I feel like these city trains aren't, like, really what everybody wants.
I do have an interesting idea. What if Lego City went to a flashback sort of theme where they did old buildings, old trains, old cars? I feel like that could be a very cool opportunity. Try to break up some of the staleness that's been going on, and I feel like that would be very beneficial. I do think stunts is quite interesting. You're seeing a lot of new molds with these ramps, and the bathtub bike, I think that's a new mold. But I'm wondering, Bill, these are named characters. Do you dislike the stunts?
Not I don't like it's not that I don't like named characters in Lego City. It's just I feel like the main focus of Lego City shouldn't be any show, or it shouldn't be any single character. It should be reality in Lego. And I feel like stunts is a good way to show that alternate series of sets will work if you make them right. Like if they do the same thing they did with stunts with Lego City Adventures and have the named characters, it'll do great, just like stunts. And I also just want to say that seeing the comeback of the push
vehicles.
The push vehicles is great. They were a thing back when I was a kid, and then they swapped it out for the pull back and let go vehicles. And I feel like I love to see that. I want to see more of those.
See, my biggest problem with the new Lego Stunts theme is that they make these big loop-de-loops, but you can barely drive them over the loop-de-loops. Most of the time they fall. Like, you saw that in like LegoCon too. They had a bunch of trouble.
That was pretty bad.
So I feel like it has potential, but a lot of it is missed just by the fact that you can barely make them go over
The functionality of the Lego stunts. I think it's one of those gimmicky things, in my opinion. I mean, we all know Lego probably won't generate enough power for you to be able to go around that loop. I personally haven't seen any videos of it being able to be done, but I would assume it's not very possible. I
think stunts is just good for the collection bit. Like, all the bikes are really unique. Like, my favorite is obviously the tub. I love the tub. That's like I think one of the most creative things I've seen out of Lego City in a while. Like, I don't think I would have ever thought of a bathtub stunt bike. Like, that's crazy. But I have high hopes for stunts in the future. I hope they keep it going, get some better ideas out there, you know.
One last thing on stunts. Do you like the $10 minifigure packs, where they have the vehicle and one figure in them?
See, it's interesting because we have no idea how much, or maybe we do, and I just don't know how much the actual bike piece costs to make, because it has the wind-up piece, it has, you know, the different wheel piece, the different mold. I don't know if that makes it more expensive, but I feel like they could bring it down maybe a few dollars.
I feel like, though, I mean, like, just looking at the price of the thing, you could easily say that they're $5 by themselves, because you look at the normal minifigure blind bags and they're $5 each. So I feel like if they're $10 and it's $5 for a minifigure and $5 for a bike.
All right, we're going to start wrapping things up. But before we wrap anything up, we have our new segment brought to you exclusively by Minifigcentral.
So if you're big on Instagram, Lego Instagram, just know it is a big news week. I know there's lots of stuff to cover, and let's get right into it. First, I wanted to cover a small thing. We now know the Minifigure Series 23 is coming out on September 1st, so stay tuned for that. I know there's lots of great figures in this. We got various new characters, and I think a lot of people will be excited to see those on shelves.
Bucas, out of this group, what's your favorite?
I think I'd have to probably go with the werewolf. I like the mold that they use for him, and I think he looks really cool.
Bill, what's your favorite?
I think out of that whole thing, I have to either go with the snowman or the boat. But if I had to go with one, I would have to go with the snowman. His head is just way too cool.
I think the snowman is the best one. I don't know if you saw this picture floating around. There's the snowman with his helmet off, and it's a dude sweating. Flashbacks to the gorilla CMF figure. Yeah. So I think that was a nice touch. Okay, next up, a topic we covered in last week's episode. We have official pictures of the lighthouse. It's a 2,065 piece set, and it will be retailing for $300, coming out September 1st.
I think this is an amazing set. I know everybody's mad about the price, but it does come with a bunch of big pieces like motor pieces, this new light piece that they came up with, the power function piece, and a brand new color for the base plate, which I think makes it worth the price that it is compared to like other sets.
Me personally, I just can't wait to get my hands on that base plate.
Will you be purchasing the base plate separately?
I will be doing that.
What do you think of the overall build?
I think it's a little small, at least the lighthouse. But then again, I don't work at a lighthouse, so I wouldn't know how big it actually is. But the build looks really detailed. And I love the ad that they put out. I think it was really cinematic and made me really hyped to see the set. I just am worried about how the light is going to work, because I've heard a lot of things about people saying that you can change the brightness from 1 to 100 or 1 to 10. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be like bright enough to be a lighthouse, you know.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people who said, "Oh yeah, this works" or whatever, like just in like their YouTube thumbnail. So I think it probably would work really well.
All right, next up we have the Star Wars leak section. This big event this is the beginning era of the leaks for the January sets for LEGO Star Wars. First up, we have the Rex Phase 2 helmet. This will be retailing for $70 and it's coming out in March.
Just to save on time, can we put them both in the same thing, the Wreck and Cody one?
Yeah. And next up on LEGO Star Wars news for the January to May wave, we have the Commander Cody Phase 1 helmet and the Captain Rex Phase 2 helmet. These will be both retailing for $70 and they will be coming out in March.
Here's my hot take. I'm not much of a helmets guy. I really only get them maybe if it's like the Scout Trooper, because the Scout Trooper is maybe one of my favorite troopers. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get it just because it's kind of expensive.
I don't like the fact that it's a Phase 1 and then a Phase 2 helmet. I think they should have just done both Phase 2 or both Phase 1.
I personally will definitely be picking up the Phase 2 Rex helmet. It's by far the best clone helmet design, and I will be picking it up day one. Next up in LEGO Star Wars news, we have the 501st Battle Pack. This set is basically a expansion on the previous one. We will be getting 2 heavy 501st troopers, and we will be getting a sniper 501st trooper and a commander, which is not Captain Rex.
I'm honestly really excited for what they could do with these custom clone troopers, because obviously they're different variants that we don't see much in the movies or anywhere else.
I think this is going to be a day one absolute purchase. This is by far the one set I'm the most excited for in this entire wave, mostly because it's $20 and we have to be getting like figures we've never gotten before. I don't know if we've ever gotten a clone sniper before. We definitely have gotten maybe a clone heavy, I'm not sure. But clone, who could be the commander? It could be maybe an aerial 501st.
These 501sts are based off the Battlefront 501st.
Even better. Battlefront is one of my favorite games. One of my favorite games of all time. I love the customization. That just makes me more excited.
In fact, the sniper 501st trooper has a visor that we have not seen in LEGO Star Wars before. So I'm wondering, with these new helmet attachments, if we'll get it in this set.
I hope they make that, because that will be an amazing thing for mock makers and custom creators.
I think this might be the best set of 2023, or at least the beginning of 2023.
All right, continuing the LEGO Star Wars news, we know there's 2 Season 3 Mandalorian sets. I believe they're... I don't know why they condensed everything. I think it's... Next up, we have 2 Season 3 Mandalorian sets, retailing for $40 and $80, I believe. They are unknown. We have no idea what they are, but we know they are coming.
From what I saw, I think it's 100, which is crazy to me because it means like off the bat, season 3 is gonna have something that can be made, like big. So I don't know. Maybe gives me hope for season 3 that it's gonna be like amazing, because I heard things from people who have seen leaks of the show itself already, and I've heard that it's like amazing and maybe one of the best seasons.
Let's just hope it's accurate. Next up, we have the TIE Bomber. This is a big, highly requested set, and it's going to have 4 minifigures, I believe, a Gonk droid, Darth Vader, and a pilot, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm so excited because this set hasn't been made in 20 years. And now that we're finally getting it, it's so amazing because that original one just does not look good because it does not hold up to, its age and stuff like that.
I know I said before that this summer wave would be my last wave. Unless something brilliant and beautiful carved in gold came out. So I'll be picking up 2 of the expansion packs for the 501st, and I'll be picking up a TIE Bomber, of course, 100%. I think this is an amazing set that they should have come out with 10 years ago instead of 20 years ago.
Next up, Slave 1 Microfighter. Unknown what Boba Fett will come in the set, but obviously a Boba Fett.
I've heard a lot of people say it's probably going to be original trilogy, but I'm also kind of intrigued to see what this microfighter is going to look like, if it's going to be standing up straight or if it's going to be in its landing position.
Next up, 76351, $70 Lego Star Wars set. Unknown what it is.
High hopes. These other sets have definitely been a positive.
And then we're getting into the 18 plus stuff. First up, we have the Death Star throne room diorama. This will be a $100 set, 5 minifigures included.
I'm not too excited for this set only because if it's $100, that means it's the same price as the play set, and so I don't know what. I mean, I guess they can make it more detailed, but I don't know. It comes with the same minifigures, and I feel like unless they make some like new prints, make like an updated Luke Skywalker, it's probably not gonna have like the best minifigures.
If it's going to be in the same vein as the other dioramas, I don't think it's going to look very similar to the playset. At least I hope not. I hope to maybe see, I think it's just going to be the top floor with 3 windows, the Emperor's chair, and then Luke and Vader. I think that's what it's going to be.
It also says, though, in the leak that it's going to come with the 2 guards, so.
That might be cool, too. 5 minifigures and that kind of set would be pretty nice.
Overall, I only have a couple words on this. I just see why remake this. They could have done so many better things. Just make Palpatine's rest. Next up, we have the Endor Speeder Bike Chase diorama, another 18 plus set, and this is $80.
I really hope that it's the speeder bike chase with Luke, the new Endor, like with an Endor Luke, because we've never gotten one in like a really long time.
I think it would be such a blow to the fans if we saw the set itself and it was just a Leia and 2 Scout Troopers. I think that would be funny in the sense that it would be disappointing, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Or even just like the Ewok on the speeder bike.
I think my dream scenario is they come out with Endor Luke, Endor Leia, Wicket, and then a Scout Trooper. But the likelihood of that happening, unlikely. And that's it on our news segment.
All right, with that all finished, we're going to wrap it up. If you like this video or this podcast, wherever you find it, like it, share it, send it out there. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.
Goodbye.